Did you know that tonight in the United States, we are going to have 4.3 million kids homeless on the streets, without a parent or a guardian to give a damn about where they are? Did you also know that 8 out of every 10 kids that live in an orphanage actually have parents and family members that care about them, but they're separated due to poverty and lack of resources? Yeah, it's a problem. One of many problems. But we don't have a housing problem. We have a homing problem here in the United States. I have a plan to fix it. Hi, my name is Jennings. I'm the founder of the Sherlock Holmes Foundation, a 501c3 public charity dedicated to changing the conversation around housing and security for all of us in the United States. And unfortunately, when someone finds themselves displaced or abandoned, a lot more bad happens to them than good. They lose their sense of identity, of self-worth, of community. They no longer love themselves because the people who should love them aren't. Ask me how I know. I was one of them. You see, what people aren't telling you is that 70% of foster kids that age out of the system find themselves homeless and having to sell their bodies or drugs within 72 hours. Yes, 72 hours from leaving their final place of residence. You see, that's why we created the Sherlock Holmes Foundation. Our mission is very simple: to provide safe housing and a home for homeless youth and other vulnerable populations here in America. We know how to make a positive impact as well as a positive investment so that you can make a return and see your communities change by working together. There are so many avenues in this side of real estate that people aren't talking about. A land trust, 170 exchanges, different things you can do as a 501c3, the House America Initiative. The list goes on and on, but no one knows it's there. But here's the problem. No one knows they're there. They don't talk about these things because not that they don't want to do it, but because they don't know how to do it. We found a way to connect social programs and social benefit with private sector investment. What does that mean? Long and short, you can do good and make money at the same time. What's better than that? So now that we know what the problem looks like, let's talk about what the future could look like, the solution. We believe that by the end of 2025, by working together, we can make a real impact on housing and security in our country for all of us. Taking these individuals who never really had a chance and giving them a fighting chance so that they can become contributing members of society just like we are. And I am so glad that you want to be a part of the solution with us. Now let's get the word out there. Just because someone is homeless does not mean they're hopeless. And just because someone is homeless, their situation is not their identity. So, if you're interested in getting involved and joining us in the fight, becoming a part of the solution, not a part of the problem, go ahead and follow the instructions here on this video. Set up an appointment to speak with us. We'll be glad to talk to you about how you can make an investment in your community, make a positive return, and change people's lives.